Hi, Mike. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So we have Santa Fe confirmed, and we are super excited about it. What can you tell us about the course?
Well, our course showcases many things about Santa Fe. We are lucky to be able to start right downtown, and it's the oldest capital city in the United States, and it has a feeling that might be a little bit more European than most American cities, and also has its own unique flavor. You start among a lot of adobe buildings. You can quickly get away from the city. We start with a 4 or 5 minute climb that right away gets the racing started. But after this short climb, you have a lot of downhill and flat. You go through the high desert and you descend about 1,000 feet, 300 meters to the high plains. And the course is really very fast, extremely fast for the first 30, 35 miles. So for about the first 50K.
Okay.
And then you begin a gradual climb up and you back into the high desert. And you go from the grasslands up into the forests of pinon and juniper trees, like the short forest that characterizes a lot of New Mexico. And from there, you descend into a really pretty little town called Tezuque. And you climb up in a riparian environment through some tall trees that make a tunnel over the road, and you will wonder where you are, because all of a sudden everything is green. There's green grass, there's tall trees over the road, and this is right about where the finish of the medium course is. You have a good stiff climb for about a mile. It's not super steep, but it's definitely enough to separate some riders. And then the 61-mile medium course finishes, and then this is where the race really starts for the long course, because you have an almost 15-mile climb up to East Santa Fe, up in to the boundary of the wilderness. And you climb starting in the short forest. It transitions into tall pine trees and fir trees and spruce trees. In the last 5 miles, you often have a huge view overlooking the Rio Grande Valley to the left. You're thousands and thousands of feet above the ground, and you can see more than 100 miles out from there. And you climb up to 10,350 feet, so way up there. And it's a long climb at altitude. It's never overly steep, but because of the altitude and just the amount you climb, it's definitely a pretty good test at the end of a race.
Yeah, I bet. How much time do you think it will take to do that climb?
Well, obviously it depends an awful lot on your level. The fastest riders that did it in 2019 were right under an hour, which is pretty astonishingly fast at the end of a race like that. But it may take you twice that long. But one thing I recommend is to bring your easy gears, and if you have easy gears, you can set your own pace. Just finishing is a big achievement. That's not a joke to finish the race, but it's really beautiful up there. The diversity of the geography of the plants is really amazing. It's what makes the Southwest special.
So you have to really train for that climb, right? What else can you tell us besides the course about GFNY Santa Fe? Like, is there any place to visit in Santa Fe, or activities? What to do, what to eat, maybe?
Santa Fe is a really, really fun destination. We have many of the best restaurants in the Southwest. We have Artist Road, which has the highest density of art galleries of any city in the U.S. and maybe the world, more than 100 on about a half mile of street. It's a really, really there's another thing called Meow Wolf, which is expanding into Las Vegas and Denver, which is impossible to describe. I would say it's something like a theme park created by artists for adults. And that may sound strange, but it's really amazing. It's super fun. It's one of the most exciting things to come out of New Mexico in decades. There's a beautiful Japanese spa called 10,000 Waves that's up on top of the hill and right off of the course, about 4.5 miles up the long climb at the end. And if you want to treat yourself, go there and go to the restaurant up there for some really interesting Japanese food that's not sushi. It's actually Japanese food from the mountains of Japan, and it's a really unique location and a really good place to pamper yourself. Again, if you're into the arts, it's a really great place to be. If you're into food, if you're into beer, New Mexican food is really well known, and we are really proud of our chili. We even have a state question, red or green, which refers to what color of chili. Green chili is usually roasted and chopped up, and so it's not prepared in sauces as often. And red chili is dried into a powder and mixed. And we put chili on almost everything you can imagine in New Mexico, and we don't understand how the rest of the world lives without as much of it as we do.
We're here in Mexico, it's pretty much the same, but I bet for other countries, it's a whole new world, right?
Yeah, it's different it's definitely its own unique cuisine. It is definitely different than the food even in Sonora and in northern Mexico.
What can you tell us about the weather? Is going to be hot, cold?
Usually September is an absolutely glorious month in New Mexico. We get a lot of our rain in August, so things have greened up a little bit. And September reliably brings clear skies, temperatures in the 70s in the daytime, 40s or 50s at night. It's less windy than many times of the year. September can be cold. It's almost never really hot, but it can be warm. But that's just generally the perfect time of year to be there. And every time I'm in New Mexico and Santa Fe in September, I think to myself, I would be an idiot if I went anywhere right now, because it can't be nicer than where I'm at.
So perfect conditions for a bike ride, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I would say is when you climb up to the ski area, it can definitely be chilly up there. It's much higher than the town, and the temperature is often a good 15 degrees cooler. So because you're getting there at late morning, if you're really fast, I would expect the weather to be okay by the time you get up there. And of course, you can send a bag up with some warm clothes. And in fact, I recommend it because the descent back down can be a little bit chilly.
Awesome. So I think we're good. Thank you so much, Mike, for this interview. We can't wait to race Santa Fe, and also it looks like it's a pretty awesome destiny to just go and have a few days there.
Yeah, we hope to see you there. Thank you so much, Dalia.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.